and uh, separate settlement in a different form with the same spirit. Recently, of course, always there is a discussion on the Dalit colonies throughout India. Uh, when we talk about Dalit colonies, what comes to our mind at village level? So the formation of village is one way of looking at it is the sociological. What kind of hierarchy it works? What is the stratification, occupation, its mobility, the labor? This is. So there is a cost structure hierarchy. It operates in both politics, economy, village economy, land distribution. Still also, that is very much visible. The other way is a geographical location. The geography of village is very, very important to understand. To understand the social relation, land relation, and the everyday relation of those communities who are residing in the village, the geography of village is very, very important. The geography is largely Dalits are historically made to forced to live separately. That's what Babasaheb Ambedkar says. Dalits in a village, they are part apart. They are part of the village in one sense. They are also apart. They are separate. Separate in the sense their colonies physically, they far away from the main village, or they are not actually part of the village, but they are attached. Their physical location is always separated from the village. So they are part apart. So further, he also says, in a village structure, Ambedkar says, Hindus lives in village, untouchables lives in ghettos. Meaning to say that there are ghettos in the village where untouchables are forced to live or historically reside. So that's where I think we have to understand the image of the colony in the village population, in the imagination of village population. What is the image of this Dalit colony among the village people? So two aspects comes. One aspect is sociological. For example, there is always a distinction between the village and the Dalit colony. For example, in Telugu region, Uru Vada. So Lakshmi sir and other people, the senior activists and scholars who have studied, they may be very clear with this. They are very much familiar. What I'm speaking, they may not be new to them. But this Uru and Vada distinction is very, very important. If you go to the Tamil Nadu Cheri, where Dalit resides. So if you come to the Uttar Pradesh and North India, Pasiana, Chamar Basti, Mauryan Tola. So you have a separate physically located spaces where the distance between main village and the Dalit, Wada or Basti, Tola is always very clear and evident. And when they are separately located, and the imagination also differently carried. While village is considered to be a uh, uh, civilized in the imagination, while Dalit Basti is always considered to be the impure, uncivilized, or uneducated, ganda, and all sort of negative language. So the Uru is always the village is means the main village is always carried with a positive sense when we compare with the Dalit. So this sociologically the on everyday relationships, this image has a serious consequences on everyday life, the labor opportunities, and the dignity of the Dalit scheduled caste life. For example, I will try to give some certain example. I'm trying to understand. I will try to make you familiarize to understand the sociological image of the Dalit colony, and in terms of administration, material condition, how Dalit colonies are uh, excluded, so that I will try to, given this background, I will try to talk about the need of the or understanding the separate Grampanchayat demand for the Dalits. This, because of the physical separation or the sociological imagination of the Dalit colony, uh, today you have experiments. Uh, hello, am I audible? Is it clear? Hello.
Yes, well clear, audible.
Okay, okay. So what is the, how much time I have, Vinod? Hello.
You can carry on. You can carry on for 40 minutes. Yes.
Okay. So because of this physical separation that is very evident, very clear, very visible, it carries a certain image. Now there are experiments like Maharashtra government previously 1 year or 1.5 year back came with a proposal. There is a need of changing the names of Dalit colonies. In Anantapur, when the collector, one of the collectors, he was trying to change more than 400 Dalit colonies' name. Dalit colonies always carried a negative meaning, so he was trying to give a dignified names, identified more than 400 villages, Dalit colonies. In Delhi government also was came with the same proposal, and there are at social movements level there are experiments where they were trying to give a new name, particularly in Telangana. If you study the Vishardan Maharaj movement, in which he was going to the Dalit Basti or specifically Madiga colony and giving a name of Maharaj colony. So trying to destigmatize the Dalit colony image so that some dignity, creating a positive thinking among the people. Because the negative impact of this image of the Dalit colony always carried a damaging in their everyday life. It also have a consequences on economic transaction. For example, how the domination over village carried. I try to give some example. One, in Tamil Nadu, 1 year back, 1.5 year back, there was an incident where a Dalit person wrote a village name in his wedding card. And Dalit, the dominant caste in the village, upper caste, felt that it is a disrespect to their, no, their dignity. So how can a Dalit write a village name in his wedding card? He can write his colony name. So they were mentally tortured him, really, threatened him, saying that, how dare you to write a village name, so on. The meaning is, village is, in the name of village, certain groups play politics. In the name of village, they have an authority to play what they want to play. So they claim the moral authority over village name. And so it has a direct connection with the village lands, infrastructure, so on and so forth. For example, there are incidents where when Dalits convert into Christianity, immediately those colonies where Dalits live, because when they convert, it's not that they change their colony, entire colony. They just convert. But physically, they are there in the same locality, colony. But somehow that locality, Dalit colony, became a Christian colony. So they began to, a particular colony is a Christian colony, previously Dalit. So therefore, though they convert into Christianity, they, in the upper caste dominant class, dominant caste imagination, they do not get the dignity. They are not even, nowhere that conversion give a different image in the upper caste imagination. Because physically they are there, and suddenly when they convert, and that become a reference point to say that this is Christian colony. Obviously there are, they are Dalits. Some incidents where sometimes Dalit built, government gives a land to the Dalits to build their houses, or they will give some land, free land, when there is available land in the villages or towns also. I went to Mahabub Nagar. I was interviewing some people there. Their colonies, Dalit colonies, are in the mainstream, the people imagination, they call it as a Pukat Nagar. Pukat Nagar means free Nagar. Pukat Nagar, free Nagar. Imagine a auto person saying that I am going to Pukat Nagar, or a person coming from that colony saying that I am coming from Pukat Nagar. Look at this language. Pukat Nagar means free. Oh, you at free of cost you build your house, so you are beneficiary of the government without doing anything. So this Pukat Nagar also creates a negative impact. Always, if you see some of the towns and cities, Dalit bastis always carried a sites for the crime, thief, and so on and so forth. So there is always police going, picking there and trying to stigmatize it. There was an incident, again it is incident which is reported in a newspaper. A person who applied from the Dalit colony, so when I interviewed him, and he said, I always try to avoid my Basti name because I can't put my Basti name in my address because it carries a negative meaning. When I go for the interviews, definitely they will suspect my character, my skill. They imagine when they see my address, obviously they assume that this colony people or people who come from there carries a different meaning. So it is directly impacting their employability opportunity. For example, labor adda. the people who live in bastis, they daily go to and stand in the labor adda. Sometimes it's not that all the time people are very particular, but there are incidents where you could also this angle, what kind of image this Dalit bastis and Dalit colonies carries. In labor adda, they will definitely ask, आप कहाँ से हैं, कौन सा बस्ती में रहते हैं, so from where you are. So when they take for daily laborers, definitely it has a negative impact. So this image recently 1.5 year back, when Vice Jagan started a housing scheme, where he built some houses, and then when he gave houses to different caste people, there was an opposition. How come we leave all the mixed people with the Dalits? So there was an objection to this, dissent. Though government is giving free scheme to the people, and there is an opposition for the non-Dalits to have a neighbor from the Dalit community. I'm just giving 1.5 year back story, which is reported in Telugu newspaper. I'm just saying the same thing also happens when there is a Ambedkar Awas Yojana and other key you could identify both in urban cities and in the local village level also. So when a Dalit colony carries this image, and definitely in 2025 also, you could see this image which is impacting their life, their opportunities, their dignity, and so on and so forth. There are village names. I think it is very familiar, particularly in Telugu. In Telugu, there are Reddipalam, or there are on Reddis. There are districts, there are villages. Largely, you will also find certain names, village names with the dominant caste, and therefore there is an invisible way of operating that same caste domination over village. So there is a need of carefully studying the village names and power structure it operates within the village. What I'm trying to bring to your attention is, historically, sociologically, this is the image of the Dalit colonies in majority of the villages, which is negatively impacting their dignity, their everyday life, their opportunities. It also deeply rooted with the everyday economical transactions. The second aspect is this separate decentralization of power. Through 73rd Amendment, we have celebrated, we keep discussing that there is a decentralization, and each state, they have their own local government acts. And in 2018, Telangana government also brought a new Panchayat Raj Act 18, where they gave a separate Grampanchayat to the tribals, in which 100% of the tribes are elected, and they have their own administration. In terms of local government, while we are celebrating that there is a decentralization of power, Now Gram Sabha become very important to formulate the plan for the village development. The village people able to participate in the Gram Sabha, and they have an opportunity to share their opinions, participate directly, indirectly in the village governance. So there is a democracy is reaching the lowest of the low, or reaching the at grassroots level. While it is true to some extent, from the perspective of the marginalized groups, specifically from the Dalit communities, what is happening? Through reservation, there is opportunity both for women and Dalits and even OBCs. Though there is a need of increasing the reservation, but whatever available, they have opportunity. But look at, if you read some of the reports by different NGOs, non-governmental organization, or even Untouchability in Rural India, edited by Satish Deshpande, Thorat, which is published by Sage, you will find out many hundreds of the untouchability practice exclusions. So you could see many reports which are coming, both government and non-government. Remember, 3 years back in Tamil Nadu, there was a case where Dalit woman elected as a Gram Sarpanch, and she was never allowed to sit on chair. And not only that, so she was not allowed to host a flag on Independence Day. What does it indicate? Which is well reported in newspaper and electronic media. One can check in by Googling. What does it mean? On Independence Day, a Dalit woman who become a first citizen of village, not able to denied to host a flag. Flag is indication of the freedom. While entire nation is celebrating the freedom, and Dalit woman who is a citizen of village first citizen is not able to exercise her freedom. I think that is what Dalit experience is. When entire India celebrating freedom, Dalits are denied the freedom. That is the deep-rooted deep-rooted contradictions that exist in our local government. Not only that, so imagine the Dalit, the wasteland in India, wasteland in villages, land, particularly land, from grazing or building the Grampanchayat institution or Anganwadi or wherever, Dalits are Dalit lands, or Dalit didn't give the land to their graveyards. Whatever land was available, they are used for the dump yards. In the villages also now, there are cases where the village Grampanchayat, the dominant caste, are using the land, whatever little land is available. So for the different purpose, they never allowed Dalits to access that land. Imagine if there is no graveyard in the village, what happens? I think recently there is also discussion on the graveyards for the Dalits. Though there are some initiation in Telangana and Telugu region, still there are problems. So, what I'm saying is this in terms of land is also highly problematic. And the graveyards and the dump yards, somehow there are cases where they are nearest to the Dalit colony. In near to my village, there was a big fight. Dalits were fought against this attempt to have a dump yard near to the Dalit colony. So what I'm trying to bring to your attention is these are the practical problems when Grampanchayat is not able to solve intentionally, they begin to do it. And there are cases when Dalits are elected deputy sarpanch or sarpanch or even ward members. There are cases where their check powers are denied, or they have not equally participated. And the unanimously electing the sarpanch is one of the very, very challenging issue to the democratic functioning of the Grampanchayat at village level. There are cases, see, for example, there are cases, the dominant caste people. When I say dominant, not exactly Brahmins, there are other castes also. The socially hierarchically land owning communities, even Reddis, Kammas, Kapus, and the other even certain the OBC communities upper level, so higher level. So it's a combination of that. So therefore, my understanding is when there are problems, when there is when structurally there is an exclusion, even if they elected as a Gram Panchayat, Sarpanch and ward members, and even if they are elected, even if they are, there are cases where the true representatives are always avoided because it's precisely the major vote share of the village become a dominant factor in electing this sarpanch. So though there is a reservation for the Dalits, they always, the dominant factor is the non-Dalits play a crucial role when it comes to majority. So always, even if Dalits are elected in their functioning or in the election, very elections, they become empty in the sense they are powerlessness. They can't do. Only thing is they have to adjust or they have to compromise. Look at this. There are cases. Remember Lakshmpeta incident. When Dalit Sarpanch elected, he was not given any power in that village. When in the displacement, when Dalits constructed their houses near to the upper caste, and when Dalits are elected as a sarpanch, these are all accumulated the anger among the dominant caste in that village, Lakshmpeta, killed Dalits on a day light. It's very much documented. So what I'm trying to bring to your attention is throughout India, one could see the same experience and same phenomena in different forms. Remember, if this is 2025 phenomena, and how do we revisit Ambedkar idea of separate settlement for the scheduled caste and the separate electorates? Some people say it is already settled issue. So the Pune practice we have seen, and we are able to successfully, some Dalits are elected as MLAs, MPs. So there is nothing. Everything is going well, and there is no need of talking about separate settlements because now we are able to successfully, mingle and so on and so forth. As I already narrated the background, what is happening at grassroots level. Nobody can deny this. So how do we reimagine it? The same spirit what Babasaheb Ambedkar was imagining 100 years back. Not in the same, if not in the same format, and just in Telugu region, in among some intellectuals, particularly in Andhra Pradesh, there is a demand for the separate Gram Panchayat for the Dalits. Sunil Kumar, IPS officer, and his organization was putting this demand. In Telangana also, the Dravida Bhujan Samiti, Jalakara Srinivas, and other people. There are many people who began to talk about this. There is a need, because imagine when Mayawati came into power in 2007, she was also experimented. Ambedkar targeted Dalit colonies with the Ambedkar scheme. Where in that scheme, it was not separate Grampanchayat as such, but Ambedkar scheme targeted the proper infrastructure to the Dalit colony. Drainage, water, Anganwadi, many things. And it was a successful program, in fact. So, not in the experiment of separate Gram Panchayat. Now, if at all, if state governments or as a policy makers and the public representatives truly interested to develop or empower the Dalits, because the in Telugu region also the subplan because of many intellectuals, bureaucrats effort, even Lakshmi Sir and CDS efforts, many people effort subplan is to some extent. What is happening in implementation is, again, we have to think critically, but at least on paper there is a separate fund provision as an act like that. Now there is a need to deeply think separate Gram Panchayat for the scheduled caste. While in Telangana government clearly given separate Gram Panchayats to the tribals, we have to study this. We have to think about this demand seriously, because if there is a criteria that to form a Gram Panchayat, we need a minimum population. Let us say, imagine in Telangana, 300 population. So there are now there are more than 12,000 villages in Telangana. If one could survey, definitely you will come across thousands of the villages, not even more than 3,000, 4,000 villages, where you will definitely come across more than 300 population, 500 population. Half of the villages sometimes will be the Dalit population. In not only in Telangana, in Uttar Pradesh and other states also. If the minimum criteria they fulfill, what is that prevent? It's not that by separate Gram Panchayats they are. It's that they are separately going. It is they will be participating directly with the MLA elections, MP elections, in order to be focused, inclusive, holistic development of the Dalits, to give a substantial, true representation, realistic representation, to actualize the inclusive village. This is one of the feasible, justiciable demand. By this separate Gram Panchayat, you are able to, they are able to elect their members, Sarpanch, Deputy Sarpanch, ward members, so that the political parties influence the dominant factors of certain communities, definitely it will be reducible. Though they directly, indirectly they may influence, but there is a greater possibility to avoid this. Second, the allocation subplan funds. You create a act, separate Dalit Gram Panchayat Act in such a way that the funds will come to focus on Dalit Gram Panchayat so that there will be inclusive programs for the Dalit, drainage, water, institution, Anganwadi, so on and so forth. Libraries, community halls, the n number of programs. It's sometimes it is, look at this, Grampanchayat in the village, sometimes located Grampanchayat in upper caste domain, upper caste locality. Even if Dalit elect, and he has to go to that. And you can imagine how difficult it is going to their colony. Sometimes in Tamil Nadu kind of villages, Dalits were not allowed. Some in North India and other villages, the incidents are reporting where Dalits were not allowed to walk with a dignity in upper caste colonies. How could you imagine a Dalit becoming a sarpanch, going to the Grampanchayat, which is located in upper caste domain, and he will function in a dignified way? So it is practically, it is very difficult. So therefore, which is the Anganwadi, or it is a Gram Panchayat office, even it is a Gram Panchayat secretary, there will be a separate secretary, separate institutions, and the ward members or sarpanch will be elected by them. So what we lost through this Pune fact, we can reimagine, and there is a
Dr.
need.
Shukriya, sorry to interrupt. Like we
Yeah,
are running out of time.
concluding. I'm
Yeah,
concluding
sure.
within 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
What we have lost, or Dalit feel that we have lost through representation, what Kanshiram coined, that with Pune Pact, there are chamchas which are reproduced. So there is a possibility, there is a greater possibility regaining this substantial leadership, at least in the villages, there is a leadership that can emerge to Dalits electing their representatives beyond their political party influence, will definitely have a qualitative change, substantial change in their development of colony and their social dignity. See, if government can give some names to the Dalit colony, you change Arjan Basti to some Ambedkar Basti or so on and so forth. There is a need to change this renaming of the Dalit Basti. But that is not enough. That is not enough. It gives a pride, it gives a dignity, it creates some symbolic the positive impact. But that is not enough unless you create a material change, which is only possible through separate Gram Panchayat. So therefore, it can be all India level demand if policymakers, activists, intellectuals able to think it. And wherever there is a possibility, governments also can think about this as an experiment. They can do in certain villages so that you can see the result. So you may say that in one village, in Dalits, among the Dalits, there may be some one or two community dominant. I'm saying in the context of the subclassification uh, 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 demand also, there will be a rotation system among the Dalits, so that nobody will lose their representation, even if within the separate Gram Panchayat system. So therefore, there is a need to think all India level in each state, and wherever there is a possibility, whichever government, whichever political party able to support this demand, unless there is a public debate, unless there is a scholarly no studies on this, it is very difficult. Because I have seen in Vijayanagara colony where it became after Karanchadu incident in Chirala, there was a separate village called Vijayanagara colony, in which Dalits are only electing their people because it is recognized as a Gram Panchayat. So we have to bring these evidences, models to substantiate arguments. With this, I am very thankful. I took longer time, and these are my preliminary ideas. I thank everybody patiently listening. Thank you to all the organizations, CDS, IIDS, the fraternity, the participants, and everybody. Thank you very much. Jai Bhim.
Thank you, Dr. Chandriya. So I invite questions now. So please unmute and ask the question.
If no one is there, then I can share
Yes,
something.
yes, please come in.
What my point that re-establishment and relocate of the Dalit colony again in excluding the community from the mainstream, and this is ultimately violating of the inclusiveness. And it happens wherever Dalits are in majority, the Grampanchayat of the Dalits could be possible. But if you can look into the entire country, there are situations where Dalits are in a very less number. So how their independent or a separate Gram Panchayat could be possible? I have seen in Maharashtra, people are raising demand for the separate cremation grounds. But if they will get separate separate cremation grounds, then again it is the violation of the inclusiveness. We need an inclusive society where each one, whether they are the Dalits or non-Dalits, have to accept each one as an independent equal. So how we can resolve it? The second, what I need a bit light on it, when Ambedkar raised the issue of re-establish or relocate Dalits, because Dalits majority on those period when Ambedkar was there and the constitution has been formed, on those time the majority section of Dalits were the landless. So without any mean of control over the mean of production, how could be it is possible? Yes, this is only.
May I respond? Okay. So thanks for your comment and question. I'm just there is a difference between separate settlements, demanding for separate settlements, and there is a demanding separate Gram Panchayat. I'm not saying that the Dalits have to be located separate Gram Panchayat, separate settlement as such. I am only I'm trying to bring to your attention, how do you recognize when Dalits are separated already and having a majority population who are eligible to form a Gram Panchayat? Wherever there is villages in which they are already separated and they have a minimum population which government can recognize as a separate Gram Panchayat. It's not that for the sake of the separate Gram Panchayat, government should relocate them. No. What is the possibility? What is wrong? If they are already separated in the village in 2025, and if government able to recognize them as a separate Gram Panchayat, when they are fulfilling the minimum criteria to form a Gram Panchayat, so that it will be more inclusive development. It's not that through Gram Panchayat we are separating them. They are already separated. Second, so therefore, it is not exactly Ambedkar what demanded separate settlement for the Dalits. It is we have to think in the terms of separate Gram Panchayat. which is an administrative unit for the purpose of the local government. Second, you are right. It's not that in every villages Dalits having a more population. Sometimes in some villages, definitely they have a mixed population here and there, and less population, which may not have a sufficient to form a Grampanchayat. So you need a different scheme to that to address. I'm only concerned how do you think about where majority population is Dalit, and how do we think about the forming a separate Gram Panchayat? It is an administration unit. Third, means of production, when the Dalits do not have a means of production. Obviously, in general, in 2025, if you take any reports, landlessness is a major factor among the Dalits. Whatever little land they have, because whatever government land they have not given even patas. Sometimes those lands also taken for the government purpose. That's what happening. It's the story of every state. In Telugu region also, taking in the name of many developmental activities, they take the land. Imagine in the village, as I said, the government land in the village is also in control of the dominant caste. So that is also not accessible to Dalit, whatever minimum land. Second, Dalits, some families have a 1 acre land or 2 acre land and all that. I think so Dalits drastically losing their land. So one has to study carefully in some villages, and the dominant caste who are controlling the Gram Panchayat, who are also have a control in land in the village, Dalits, they made Dalits to involve in different conflicts in which they are forced to lose their land. There are many incidents. I am just saying there are ways in which Dalits are losing their land. And the new generation of people going to have except house, they will not have a land kind of situation. So I'm just saying this means of production is land distribution. One can demand land distribution. It can't be a contradictory to demanding the separate Gram Panchayat. Simultaneously, one can demand. What is wrong? So one can have land distribution, demand, and one can also have separate Gram Panchayat to the Dalits. So we should not see same argument of no, we are separating the Dalits. When they are already separated, and if you go villages, you will definitely come across this separateness. It's not that we separating. It is clear evidence. So what to do with that villages? How do you think about new inclusive approach? This is one possibility. Yeah, this much I could say.
Is there anyone to raise question?
तो supplementary question पूछना है क्या अरुण जी?
I do have.
Yes, please
Yes.
go.
Yes, could I?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
please. Come first.
So I'm speaking, sir. I'm Induwala from Himachal Pradesh. I am very, very thankful to Dr. Gopani. He has given rare things to the SC world. Like, it should be, Pune Pact should be in a modified way of separate settlements. The word is settlement. Government can do anything if government is serious. Historically, they lived separately. And the other thing he said, part and apart physically, it is also a great idea. Dalit colonies he talked about. But first thing is, our preamble, we the people of India. How we can unify if we get everything separate, sir? Gram Sabha, which is also a soul to the nation. We cannot say this. Although everybody has its own convictions, and the practically speaking, we the people of India means the spirit of the constitution. How is it possible? If it is possible in Tamil Nadu, I do hope it should be inclusive to all the state. And this is very much, you must know, Gram Sabha is a very important part of our empowerment and share the opinions. And democracy is reaching at the grassroots level. And although some very bad things happen, like he said, the Dalit woman was not allowed to host the plague. It was very sad. We cannot celebrate our freedom. But the sir is how these things of separate electorate is feasible in this scenario when we are thinking to be together. And the thing is, policymakers should think all this, what they can do constitutionally and institutionalize the things. We have to give our views to the people who will do for the people. So I thank you very much. And if it is all India demand, then we also are in the hope and line. If it is all India, but otherwise, from our the hearts of heart, I deny that we should have the separate electorate at this moment in the 2025 when we are celebrating 75th year of our freedom. Thank you very much, sir.
Madam, I think thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm just only saying we should not see
Yes.
the demand for a separate Grampanchayat for Dalits as a division. Because in villages, whether you are from Uttar Pradesh or Uttarakhand or other places, Dalit villages are already physically separated.
Yes.
There are villages where there are mixed population also. One can't deny that.
Yes.
By forming the separate Gram Panchayat, it's not that they will be separated from the society. They will definitely participate in elections for the MLA, MP, and other bodies along with the other people. So because of the existing challenges and exclusionary practices, discrimination practices, wherever there is a possibility, imagine if in Telangana, out of 12,000, more than 12,000 villages, if in 3,000 to 4,000 villages, if Dalits are major population who are able to form separate Gram Panchayat, physically separated, so recognizing as it is, not demanding you have to relocate them. So what is the problem? We should not see it. You are saying Gram Sabha is one of the important component of Gram Panchayat and where they can participate.
Yes.
Even if the elected Gram Sarpanch is not able to perform properly, do you think Gram Sabha where they can participate for half an hour can be meaningfully participate? If Sarpanch is not able to perform properly, the half an hour or 1 hour or 2 hour discussion of Gram Sabha can able to do justice? Do we think that the Dalits able to meaningfully participate in Gram Sabha meeting? So
But
I'm
sir,
I'm
yes,
just
please.
I'm just appealing. How do we think the demand in Telugu region is emerging, and some of the people are thinking, what is the possibility, and
Yes.
what are the say for there is a need of studies, serious studies from the scholars who are in university level and research level, who are there in the institution, NGOs or other independent scholars, activists. We have to study
Yes.
how this separate Gram Panchayat idea able to perform well compared to the normal Gram Panchayat.
So may I
And
ask one question to you, sir?
yeah,
You know, how can we say the person who is elected in the separate settlement and who is elected otherwise, what is the difference between the two? How he can be more powerful when he will come from the separate and separate? How we can say how he will deliver the goods over there when he will not be accepted and given the votes from other castes? They will not recognize. They do not recognize even the votes from the every area of the people. How they can give the importance to the person who has been elected separately?
no, I'm just saying through separate Gram Panchayat, Dalit Gram Panchayat for the scheduled caste, there is a possibility of electing Dalits their representatives.
Yes.
If there is no question, then shall I?
हेलो हेलो हाय
अरे जी पूछिए कुछ।
अब मेरा सवाल नहीं है। मेरा नाम अमित है और मैं एक दलित ट्रांसजेंडर एक्टिविस्ट हूँ प्रयागराज उत्तर प्रदेश से। तो मैं गांव में ही हूँ, गांव में ही रहती हूँ। तो जैसे कि बाबा साहब ने कहा था कि गांव जो है जातिवाद की फैक्ट्री है, वो तो बिल्कुल सच है। और अभी जैसे प्रोफेसर चंद्रया गोपानी जी बता रहे थे, जो उनके जो रिसर्च हैं, जो एकेडमिक में उन्होंने काम किया है। और जब हम दलित की भी बात कर रहे हैं या ऑप्रेसिव लोगों की भी बात कर रहे हैं, तो हम किस लेंस से इंक्लूसिव बात कर रहे हैं? इंक्लूसिव मीन्स होता है कि हम ऑप्रेसिव लेंस से भी सोच रहे हैं। और इवन की विलेज हेड की जब हम यस या तो उसमें भी जब विलेज हेड की ही बात करते हैं, जैसे अभी मैडम बता रही थी, तो जैसे कि मैं मध्य प्रदेश में जब हम काम कर रही थी, तो वहाँ पे आदिवासी इलाका था। वहाँ पे जो एक जो है आदिवासी थे और सरपंच थे, और 25 साल से सरपंच थे। और उनके पास कुछ भी पावर नहीं थी। सेम वही कि वो बकरी और जो है और जो उनके जानवर थे वो चरा रहे थे, और वो ठाकुर जी थे जो सारी चीज काम कर रहे थे वहां पे। और इस तरीके से अंदर डर लोगों के अंदर था कि वो जो ठाकुर साहब आते थे, तो इवन कि वो सोच भी नहीं सकते थे उन्हें क्या बोलना है, क्या कह सकते हैं। उनकी इवन कि उनके बस्ती में आ जाते थे तब, और उनकी बस्ती में तो जाना दूर की ही बात थी। तो ये है कि मतलब कि और जो मैडम बोल रही थी कि बहुत ही एक सोल है, क्या बोलते हैं, भारत जो गांव का एक आत्मा है, बस्ती है, बहुत बहुत खूबसूरत होती है। लेकिन मुझे लगता है, मैं गांव से हूँ, मेरा बचपन गांव से बीता है, गांव में रहती भी हूँ अभी भी। तो एक तरीके से बहुत उत्पीड़न है गांव में, और ये मेरे लिए बहुत प्यारा नहीं है, आत्मा नहीं है। मुझे लगता है कि हेलो हेलो
यस यस, हम लोग सुन रहे हैं, आप बोलिए।
हाँ, तो वही चीज की जो प्रोफेसर चंद्रिया गोपानी कह रहे थे कि हाँ इस तरीके से स्पेस होना चाहिए, जो कम्युनिटी है, जो ऑपरेसिव कम्युनिटी है, उनके स्पेस होनी चाहिए जहाँ पे वो खुद थिंक कर सके, सोच सके अपने लिए, और वो अपने बारे में भी बात कर सके। या
हेलो मैडम, आर यू हियरिंग? क्या मैं
Yeah,
आपसे
we all
पूछ
hearing.
यस सर, यस सर, प्लीज। मैडम, क्या मैं आपसे पूछ सकती हूँ कि जहाँ पे आप जिस गांव में रहते हैं, क्या वहां पे स्कूल्स हैं? क्या वहां पे बच्चे पढ़ते हैं? क्या वहां पे कॉलेजेस हैं? क्या वहां पे आंगनबाड़ी है? क्या वहां के बच्चों को स्कूल के लिए रोका जाता है? क्या वहां के बच्चों की कैपेसिटी एंड कैपेबिलिटी बिल्डिंग में कोई प्रॉब्लम्स आ रहे हैं? मे आई नो वहां पे कोई विशेष किस्म की ये ठाकुरवादिता जो है, ये अब इतना नहीं रहा है। आई टेल यू दिस थिंग। क्या आप मेरा प्रश्न के जवाब दे सकती हैं? सर, आई एम सॉरी, she must not be
If there
hearing
is
or
no one, then I can respond on it.
yes sir,
If permitted.
yes sir,
Please, please.
देखिए, मैं हर दिन तकरीबन 10 एट्रॉसिटीज से गुजरता हूँ।
जी
राउंड द क्लॉक एट्रॉसिटीज की मॉनिटरिंग मेरे यहाँ होती है।
जी जी
ये देखिए, सारा प्रॉब्लम ये है कि डॉक्टर अंबेडकर जिस इंक्लूसिवनेस, मतलब समावेशी समाज की जो उनकी एक पर्सपेक्टिव था, हम वहां से बार बार अलग हो जाते हैं। और सारा परेशानी ये है कि हम एक्सक्लूसिवनेस के शिकार होते हैं। हम अपने लिए सब कुछ एक्सक्लूसिवली मांगने लगते हैं। मुझे लगता है कि जब भी हम इस एक्सक्लूसिवनेस, मतलब हमें बिल्कुल अपने लिए अलग से एक विशेष चाहिए, वहां खतरा पैदा हो जाता है। जो मैंने पहले कहा कि महाराष्ट्र में जिस तरह से डिमांड होती है कि हमें अलग से अपने क्रिमेशन ग्राउंड चाहिए, मेरा मानना यह है कि जो एग्जिस्टिंग सिस्टम है उस पे हमें हमारा शेयर और एक्सेस चाहिए।
जी
ये जरूरी है। और जिस सेपरेट रीलोकेशन या उसकी बातचीत हो रही है, तो उसके मीन्स क्या हो सकते हैं। देखिए, इमरजेंसी एक ऐसा दौर रहा जहां सबसे ज्यादा जमीन के पट्टे दलितों को बांटे गए, लेकिन उन पट्टों में से 60 से 70% पट्टों पे आज भी दलितों का कब्जा नहीं है। ये मैं उत्तर प्रदेश से लेकर के, बिहार से लेकर के तमाम राज्यों की बात कर रहा हूं। मैंने लैंड के ऊपर एक अच्छा खासा काम किया हुआ है, इसलिए मैं ऐसा कह रहा हूं। तो और दूसरा ये है कि आई रिस्पेक्ट एंड विद द ग्रेट रिस्पेक्ट टू प्रोफेसर गोपानी, कि जब वो 2025 की बात कर रहे हैं, एंड ही स्टार्टेड विद द गेटोस। गेटोस मतलब बस्तियां, गांव गांव जो है वो रेवेन्यू विलेज हैं। और जब तक 73 74 अमेंडमेंट नहीं हुआ था, तब तक दलित बस्तियां गांव के रेवेन्यू का हिस्सा नहीं थी।
जी जी
तो मुझे लगता है कि ये बहुत सारे कन्फ्लिक्ट्स हैं, इनको और ठीक से देखने की जरूरत है। और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि हमें एक, जो डॉक्टर अंबेडकर का जो एक बड़ा आग्रह था कि हमें एक इंक्लूसिव सोसाइटी चाहिए, जहां हम हर एक के बीच में एक्सेप्टेड हो, हम भी हों और हम दूसरों को भी एक्सेप्ट करें। ये सोसाइटी की तरफ बढ़ने के बारे में हम कैसे संविधान को देखते हैं, और संविधान के अंदर ये जो प्रोविजन है, ये वाइडर लेवल में किस तरह से समावेशी हो सकते हैं, हमको इस पे बात करने की आवश्यकता है। थैंक यू।
जी, थैंक यू सर।
आई थिंक समय हो गया है, 8:30 बज गए, तो समाप्त किया जाए। थैंक यू डॉक्टर
अरुण
Yes,
भाई,
Anna. Yes, Anna.
हाँ, ऐसे मेरा एक ही विशेष के रूप में मैंने इसके बारे में बोलने वाले हैं। ये सेपरेट ग्राम पंचायत इज एसेंशियल फॉर पीरियड, नॉट फॉर ऑल, for 10
Yes,
years.
agreed.
No. This can listen. Inclusiveness is different. It is a governance. It is not a, it is a different separate. It is not a separation. It is for governance. Local governance is nothing but to empower the communities based on the allocations, programs, policies, executing the local authorities, empowering the leadership, and as well as the programs and the requirements of the communities. This
And I
area
completely agree. That is what we needed.
that is there.
I'm not opposing.
You can't see as it is a inclusiveness of the civil society like it is not the issue. Another thing, what is the problem of the atrocities because of the dependency. What is the root cause for the atrocities? There is a dependency on the dominant caste by the Dalits. So because of the dependency, if you want to reduce that dependency, you can increase the empowerment process.
Yes.
For in the context of the separate governance, we have in Chunduru Besaker, we addressed this issue very particularly. I was the in charge for the Chunduru Massacre camp in Andhra Pradesh. We demanded for separate panchayat, Ambedkar panchayat. We developed it with a process. It is governed by their own people. Now it will be well furnished. It is well established. So I am the witness. I am the witness for the separate panchayats. For the it will be give a lot of confidence, and they are courageous, and they have their emerged with the program. There is a lot of money for the development for the Dalits. There is central sponsored schemes, and also the state budgets and the centrally budgets are also there. So how to utilize the governance? It is a governance issue, and also overall development of the community as well as the locality and the family. You can see in the context of the reducing the gaps among the scheduled caste and the common communities. So it is a tool for to address the issue of the graded unequal society. We can fought for it is one of the important tool to develop a separate Grampanchayats to address this issue and address the issue of the caste discrimination as well as the atrocities and also the other things also. It is an essential tool. You can see it is a tool, not as another thing. This is my perception. We are also working on this issue last 25-30 years.
Anna, 100% agree with you. I'm with you. 100%.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please come.
May I speak?
Yes, please.
Sir, I am engineer Ahmad Rose from Himachal Pradesh. The idea, the quest of this idea to have a separate Gram Panchayats for the scheduled caste, it is, I think, linked with the developmental works. The developmental works, not for the other cooperation and all that. Because if you have the separate establishment in Gram Panchayat, then the whole money which is coming for the development of the scheduled caste, that will be utilized properly and nicely. So I think it is a good idea. And my question is that I am since from North India, Himachal Pradesh. So this our scheduled caste population is scattered in northeast. You see that how the separate Gram Panchayat be established for this, because two houses are in the fringes of the one village, 2-3 villages, they are rendering services to them, and I think this sub-plan budget which is coming in scheduled caste for the development of the scheduled caste, firstly you have to build the way to the upper caste, you see, so-called. Then you have to go to the two houses, those are living in the fringes of that, the lower part of that village. And you see the Himachal government, they are saying that our population is mixed population. and the funds which are coming under sub-plan for the scheduled caste, that are being used firstly for the upper caste, then to the scheduled caste, this houses. So, what is your opinion, Professor Gopani, if you suggest that the government is making this excuse? They are giving to the answer to the central government and this commission also. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so thank you, sir. Thanks. I completely agree with Koru Vinay Kumar, sir. He is one who has been working a lot for a long time. He's also participated in Karamchedu movement. He have seen what he was explaining. Is very. That's what I was articulating. So whether it will be for 30 years or 20 years, that's debatable. That we can think time limit, but we have to understand the idea, why there is a need of this in order to develop the infrastructure within the colony. Not only that, government funds can be effectively utilized. The leadership idea of leadership emerged from there is a great possibility to develop a leadership, a true committed leadership from the grassroots level. Imagine if there are 1,000 villages in which there are separate gram panchayat for the scheduled caste, the quality of the representation will be definitely having impact. So if it is goes to 2 to 3 phases, you will find a lot of a new generation of leadership beyond political parties, because to avoid the political parties influence, this is one of the very important. You are right, sir. From Himachal Pradesh, there are challenges. There should be a different strategy for the hill areas where population is scattered, very small villages. So there should be, because that is why when 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 we think about the separate gram panchayat for the scheduled caste, we can think in different forms. One is fully recognizing the gram panchayat, one method. The second method is wherever there is a less population, it is mixed with the mainstream village, and separate provisions by keeping them in the main village, but separate provisions effectively. So there will be a separate way of thinking for the hill areas. I'm just throwing this idea, which is already existing among the social movements people and movements who are articulating. There is a serious studies, and we have to collect the experiences of the activists who are directly involved, and going to that villages, but specific villages, and comparative studies, so that it will come up with a, a very important document which will be useful for the larger uh, demands.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chandra garu. Already we reached 8:40.
Sir.
We can wind up here. Anyway, this issue is coming from 20-30 years. It should be discussed, and it should be have a concrete plan and program. Not only academic level, it also be in action or activity level also. It should take, but okay, we can discuss the things later. I thanks to all whoever they participated in the discussion. They posed questions. It's a very thankful to them, and thank you very much once again, Gopagani, Chandraya garu, and Vinod garu moderate this thing. Next session on 15th March. Article 40, mandate of social justice through local government, objective and reality. It could deliver. It will be delivered by Sukhdev Vishwapremi, National Convener, People's Campaign for Social Economic Equity. It's moderated by Dr. Vijay from Himachal Pradesh. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks
I
to
will
everyone.
see next week. All good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank
you,
you,
sir,
Chandra.
Lakshmi and Vinod and every organization and their representatives and Korvi sir and others. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Gopani. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Gopani. Though you are in
Thank you, sir.
Allahabad, I may come sometime to you.
Sure, please. We'll meet.
I am settled at Lucknow, so
Okay.
I'm very much
That's
frequent
great.
to